There we go, the perfect shot. Oh wait. Yeah. Where is it? Out there. Ooh. Beautiful. Yeah, g'day, Phil here from The Jaded Filmmaker. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're filming on K&F's new ND2 to ND400, and that's a huge amount of ND-ness. I thought that was either a typo or a new way of measuring NDs, but did some tests with it and it's not as much as I thought actually, so whoa, we're getting bright. Whoa, see, look what you can do, you just spin it like that. It's got zebras on my screen. And is this new filter supposed to replace the ND8 to 128 and also the ND2 to 32? Alright, we've got changing lighting conditions. So for once I am staying on an exposure setting and using the ND filter. That's how you're supposed to do it. That's how filmmakers do it. And the clouds are just about to eat up that sun, so it will change. And this is what an ND filter is for. I'll just leave it on sunny white balance though, so it's going to be really cool. It's going to get cool. So will this filter replace the ND2 to 32 and the ND8 to 128? Well, I don't know. I did some tests on the computer, which I'll show you. The real test will be, comparatively, will it be as sexy? Like, they all cover ND16, so I'll do that. Okay, well, this is ND16 on the ND8 to 128. Okay, at the same settings, this is the ND2 to 32 at 16. And I've tried to make it the same brightness and the same white balance of sunny. Finally, we're on the ND2 to ND400. Now, since there's no way for me to properly tell what ND16 was, I used the ND2 to 32 to help me. I got the settings and then quickly put this filter on. I mean, there are little dots on this one as well, but you're going from 2 to 400, so they're like fractions of stops, spaced out evenly. At ND16, the two on the left are fairly similar, with maybe the 2 to 400 being slightly more true colours, the one in the middle there, but the 8 to 128 has significant colour casting and slight vignetting. And will it be as good at the lower setting of ND2? Okay, this is ND2 on the ND2 to 32. And now this, I haven't had to change settings, so that's a good sign, is the ND2 to ND400 at ND2. So at least on the back of the screen here, it looks faithful. We'll have to see on the computer which looks better.
Well, the computer says they both look rather nice. Let's check the filter's maximum ND stoppage, shall we?
There we are. So this is the maximum stopping downage of the filter of ND32. This is the max ND128. And I've had to ride the ISO to get it to be peaking on those clouds, those bright clouds in the background. Now let's try the darkest we can, which apparently is there. Whoa, it gets dark so fast. So the darkest point is not on the dot, it's on the N. That's interesting. Okay, let's ride the ISO and see how... Whoa, that's a bit of X. Okay, so we don't want to go to there. There's a bit of X pattern at the most amount of ND-ness. Let's put it back on the ND400. All right. Let's see what that is equivalent to. We'll get the ND8 to 128 back out again. That's saying I'm at 640 ISO. And I'm putting the little dot right on the 400. So this is the maximum stoppage before you start to get your X pattern. Now, let's compare it again to the ND8-128. I'm curious now. The ND8-128 seems to be similar amount of light stopping power.
Both filters here have the same light transmission properties, since the camera has the same ISO and shutter. But the 8-128 is showing color cast and vignetting. So that means the ND2-400 is better at ND128. Are we surprised?
And I was surprised. The ND128 was almost the same settings as the ND at its darkest at ND400, and it did go darker, the ND400, but then it got this X pattern, so we don't want to go that far. So maybe this is like an ND2 to ND128 at an effective range. Then you won't get any of the bad vignetting or the X patterns.
Okay, so let's call it a 2-to-128 filter then, shall we? Let's compare it again at ND2 to the 2-to-32 filter. And then let's also compare it at 128 to the 8-to-128 filter. I think this will replace my other two filters, so anyone want to buy a variable ND? Excellent condition. The only negative being, don't spin it too far or you'll get that X pattern, because there's no hard stops.
So this is what I mean here. There's no hard stops, and they're all evenly spaced. So it's more of a guide than anything else. And that's where all the X patterning was happening, around about there. So to be safe, I went back a little bit, and around about here sort of equaled the same light stoppage as the ND8-128 at 128 on the other filter. So that's interesting. So maybe do pay attention to these indicators and don't go higher than that. Like obviously you'll see that and you'll back it off. So let's call this filter an ND2-128. I don't think they need to put 400 there. That's my only gripe about it. Otherwise it feels nice. Nice bit of friction there, and I like this added handle. This added little thing. So you're supposed to throw away the numbers and just feel it and use the force. Oh, and I almost forgot. It also comes in this awesome, sexy pouch. So that's a nice. Let's try a little test where I can I spin it in front of the camera to see? Hang on. Does it get darker? There you go, there you go. Whoa. And then, I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blickety black, and I'm black, y'all. I'm blickety black, blacker than black, cause I'm blickety black, and I'm black, and I'm back.